Hi guys, so occasionally with recipes, you're going to need to double recipes or cut them in half. And that can be quite confusing if you've not done it before. Something to remember is that it's all about fractions. And if you are not quite as good with fractions, it can sometimes be very difficult to double or half your recipes. Some things to remember with fractions, the top number is going to be the numerator and the bottom number is the denominator. The only reason you need to know that is because it can make communicating about the fractions a little bit easier. So to multiply, you're going to simply multiply across. Numerators are going to multiply together and denominators are going to multiply together. So if you look, we have 1 times 1 equals 1. And 2 times 3 equals 6. That's how you're going to multiply fractions. To divide, you're going to flip the divisor or flip the second number and then simply multiply across. So if you look, we've got 1/4 divided by 3/8. That second number, that divisor, is going to switch to 8/3. And then you're going to multiply across. So 1 times 8 and then 4 times 3. But that number can reduce down if you remember. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 4 goes into 8 2 times. So then we can reduce down so it's 2/3. If you are really struggling with fractions, it might be something you want to talk to your math teacher about. I am not super great at explaining math. That's the reason I am a facts teacher and not a math teacher. Then, if you are working with those kitchen fractions, remember there are some things that are really important to know. So, with our kitchen fractions, you will never have a negative number. If you have a negative number, you did something wrong because we can't measure negative ingredients. That just doesn't work. It will never be decimals. I know that it is tempting to try to use a calculator to get your answers for these, but we can't measure decimals, so it has to stay in fractions. And your fractions can only be thirds, halves, and quarters because our standard set of measuring cups, remember, is not going to have like eighths or some of those other types of measurements. You have to have it in those standard measuring cups. This is what your standard set has, and then remember 2/3, you're going to use 1/3 twice. That's how you measure it. 2/4 is going to equal 1/2, and then 3/4 is one that's tricky. You can measure it 2 different ways. You could do it 1/2 of a cup plus 1/4 of a cup, or you could do 1/4 cup 3 times. This is a conversion chart to help you out a little bit. It will help you complete the answers on the assignment that you'll have. 1 cup is equal to all of these different things. So 4 1/4 cups, 3 1/3 cups, 2 1/2 cups, or 16 tablespoons. That will help you later on. So you may want to take a picture of this, take a screenshot, or just save this so that you are able to get back to it. 1/4 of a cup is going to equal 4 tablespoons. Something else you might want to write down is 1/8 of a cup equals 2 tablespoons because it's 1/2 of that 4. 1/3 of a cup is equal to 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. And 1/6 of a cup should also be something that you write down. It's going to be equal to 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons. Remember, there's 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon, and then 1 teaspoon is going to be equal to 2 1/2 teaspoons or 4 1/4 teaspoons. Okay, so what we're going to do now, if you look at your assignment, this is what it'll look like. Some things to keep in mind. Remember, I said 1/6 of a cup is equal to 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons. And then your 1/4 cup, remember, is going to be equal to 1/4 cup equals 4 tablespoons, so 1/2 of that is going to be equal to 2 tablespoons. So to measure this, you'd need 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. Hopefully this helps a little bit with the kitchen math. Some other things that you need to know for this assignment is half of an egg. To do half of an egg, you can't measure out like half the egg. You're going to mix it all together, and then 1 egg is equal to 4 tablespoons. So half of that is going to be 2 tablespoons. Everything else you should be able to complete relatively easily on your own. You just might want to look back at that conversion chart, because the conversion chart can help you out a little bit on that. If you have questions, please feel free to email me. I know that kitchen math can be very confusing.